How are you, man?
A few days after our first interview, Dove invited us back to his fortress of solitude.
You want to get started now?
To show us a most fascinating and private place, his master bedroom.
This is a first-time exclusive ABC News. I don't want to explain what this is. This is something we don't want to look at.
He now calls this his war room. The walls covered in a collage of post-it notes, articles, and random figures.
Here's my sales. It was 634 last year, 658 this year.
There are rows of business cards pinned to the door.
These are just contacts.
Even the bathroom mirror hasn't been spared.
This is my recent pile of crap.
It's just enough to make you wonder.
It does make sense. I'm not crazy. I'm not.
The magic and the madness, which was once the heartbeat of American Apparel's factory floor, is now being channeled here in Dove's determined, perhaps desperate attempt to take back his beloved company.
So this is what I do. This is my life. I've had a minute being on the outside to re-strategize how I want to take control of the company again, and I intend to.
He's cagey about how he plans to finance a takeover, but open about his public relations strategy. Remember those adoring workers who are rallying for his return?
We love you, we love you.
The organizers of this demonstration directed me to this Dove devotee. A 10-year veteran seamstress named Anna Amador.
She calls it an injustice that Dove was taken out of this company.
Why the love for the so-called sleaze king? Anna says after Charney got the boot, her hours were cut back.
Oh, so there's people that are just at home for weeks and weeks, furloughed.
I'm concerned that there'll be human tragedy if this business falls apart.
That was Dove the compassionate. I also met Dove the persecuted. Charney has long alleged that the company conspired to destroy him, citing, among other things, the suspicious leak of this notorious video, shot in an apartment rented by the company, in which the inimitable CEO dances in front of a coworker and a friend, wearing nothing but his custom-tailored birthday suit. Charney says it hit the web just one day after Dove was ousted, and he's convinced the leak must have come from the company, because it was contained in an email to which they had access.
Hours after I'm fired, a personal video shot by a friend who had not distributed it to anyone was released in the public. It has to be connected to the company's activities. Okay, so the company went as far as to release a video of me. That was personal. Okay.
And how did they get that video?
Because they had access to all of my personal affairs.
That video went viral because people are probably asking, who does this?
I have my own lifestyle. You know, we're taught in school, don't judge people's personal lifestyle. Okay.
Now it was high time to pay a visit to the company and meet the woman who took Dove's place.
Bottom line, was there an underhanded plot to get Charney out of here?
No, I don't believe that at all. Maybe 400 styles and...
Paula Schneider, newly appointed CEO, is the new face of American Apparel. Her mission, to restore the company to profitability, to save the workers' jobs, and to distance it as far as possible from its controversial founder.
You know, I have great respect for what he built here, but there were challenges. In the last 5 years, the company has lost over 300+ million. So, you know, it wasn't a financially healthy company, and my goal is to take it, turn it around.
What exactly was Dove fired for?
Dove was fired for violating our sexual harassment and our anti-discrimination policy. He was also fired for misuse of corporate assets.
He says all of the claims of sexual harassment are baseless.
That's not what came out in the findings.
But if these cases were true, if what these women said happened, this went on for years.
Years.
How could that have been allowed?
Hard to understand.
Schneider says that getting the company back on track means that, yes, workers like Anna are now being furloughed.
In some cases, they are being furloughed for weeks.
And I feel tremendously bad about that.
And the company is quick to point out that plenty of workers were elated by the news that Charney had left the building.
When you work at American Apparel closely with Dove, you're pretty much scared all the time.
The company directed us to this employee who did not want to show her face.
He will yell at you, call you names, humiliate you until you feel down, broken.
Was that a common sentiment here?
I've heard that, and I've seen reports, I've seen HR reports to that effect.
So after hearing that, we dropped in on Dove one last time.
The company is saying that you were hemorrhaging money, that you were just piling up debt, that you just left a big mess there.
Even the best of American companies had periods of losses. What's important here is about the go-forward opportunity at American Apparel, and I believe I had a good strategy to go forward.
As for this employee's allegations,
I think that's one person's point of view, okay? There's many different points of view, and I'm not going to get along with everybody. This is a tough environment. It's the apparel industry. Not everybody has to work at American Apparel.
But Charney doesn't deny he can be a tough boss.
We're taking over T-shirts, man. do we need? What do we need? What do we need to do private label for?
In fact, back in his war room,
This guy's nuts, though.
Charney showed us something revealing.
You are a worthless pansy ass who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set.
The trailer to the movie Whiplash, the story of a maniacal music director who has unreasonable expectations of his students. The allegedly abusive boss knows the words by heart.
Harmful, then good job.
I'll tell you one thing, I'll push my white-collar workers harder. I was combative. I was a pushy boss. I was a hammer on my white-collar staff. That's for sure.
But when we asked again about those lawsuits, Dove had had enough.
The new management at American Apparel says there were 15 lawsuits with $6.1 million in payouts.
Look, I mean, that statement is misleading, okay? The statement that I've been told what they've told you. They're trying to mischaracterize. You know, I won't discuss the lawsuits. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to me. It's been a witch hunt. They spent $10 million chasing me around, okay? You're talking about my sexuality, okay? I don't like it. You always go through periods of redemption.
So what's the future look like for the fallen fashion icon? Well, the company is positive that the odds of a Charney restoration are slim. Actually, make that 0.
He is not allowed to be an employee or an officer or CEO of the company, period. There's no option there.
And just this week, news broke that the SEC is investigating what led to his termination.
How do you respond to that?
I think for something like that, it's going to go straight to my lawyers. There's nothing I can say about that in this forum.
At this point now, why would American Apparel, or perhaps any company, hire you back?
Because I'm a garment man. I know my business. I'm passionate. My ethics are good. I'm a great industrialist. And I'm a human being. I have faults. I've made mistakes. But I love what I do.
Before we said adios, I had one last question. It was about his bedroom walls.
If you can add one more note today, right here, what would you write?
Let me try. This might not be it. Let me take a stab at it.
All right.
Okay.
So there you go. Let's build American Apparel into a great company together. And that's the note you would put up today.
Yeah.
So if you were in charge of American Apparel, would you hire him back? Let us know on our Facebook page and on Twitter. Use the hashtag ABC2020.